Mexico launches a new commuter train, Slovakia bans parking on sidewalks, Japan builds its tallest skyscraper, and Rishi Sunak advocates for car drivers. Hello everyone and welcome to the next Urban News episode where we will discuss some interesting urban-related news I found in recent days. Let's go! In Mexico, after 9 years of planning and construction, is launched a regional train connection between Mexico City and Toluca. Initially, the train will run only on a 20-kilometer section from Zinacantepec to Lerna, with a 87-kilometer line planned to be fully completed by 2024. The line will be served by 20 CAF trains. Each train will have 5 wagons, accommodate about 700 passengers, and have a maximum speed of 160 kilometers per hour. A travel time will be 39 minutes on the full route, and the daily passenger traffic on the line is expected to reach 81,000 passengers. At first, the line was planned to be launched in 2017, but due to financing problems and protests of residents in some areas, it became possible only now. The final cost of the project amounted to 97 billion pesos, which is about $5.7 billion US dollars. The capital of Chile, Santiago, has launched a 3.8-kilometer extension of Metro Line 3, which includes 3 stations and connects the city center with the Quilicura district at the outskirts, which is a great news for almost 300,000 residents. 3. And this is somewhat of a restoration of justice, because this neighborhood used to be so isolated from the city that many of its residents didn't consider it as a part of Greater Santiago. The travel time to the center by a new metro line will be now only 20 minutes instead of the current 44 minutes by bus. The entire planning and construction process lasted for 9 years and cost $378 million US dollars. And there are also plans to provide a transfer hub between the metro and suburban trains at the Ferrocarril station. Meanwhile, in Slovakia was implemented so-called sidewalk correction, according to which cars can park on the sidewalks only where it is permitted by road signs and markings. In this respect, Slovakia has unified its rules with many other European countries that have had such rules for a long time. Previously, Slovakia had a regulation that allowed parking on any sidewalk if there is at least 1.5 meters of space for pedestrians to pass. In other words, now if a parking space on a sidewalk is not marked with the signs, you cannot park there even if there is still enough space for pedestrians. In Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, there are about 20,000 on-street parking spaces in total, and in preparation for the implementation of these new rules, the city authorities have installed about 400 new ones in areas where the lack of them could cause inconvenience for residents. Of course, such a change in the rules will require a change in the habits of residents, so in the first months the police will not find violators of the new rule, but will only give them warnings. But this will not apply to more serious situations where parking violations cause greater inconvenience for pedestrians or other drivers. The Danish city of Aalborg has launched a new 12-kilometer long bus line named Plus Bus, which crosses the city from west to east and connects it to the area of the future university hospital. This route is based on the principles of BRT with maximum priority, and it is the first such line in Denmark. The line is served by 25 meters long double-articulated electric buses, which are designed for more than 150 passengers. Initially, it was planned that the city would launch a modern tram line, just like Aarhus or Copenhagen, but in the end, the city decided to implement BRT as a cheaper alternative. The total cost of launching this route was about 76 million euros, almost half of which was compensated by the Danish government. Just for a comparison, the construction of a new light rail line in Odense cost about 480 million euros. In Tokyo just started construction of the new 62-story torch tower, which is expected to reach a height of 385 meters and become the tallest building in Japan, excluding TV towers. The construction is scheduled to be completed in 2028. Most of the building will be occupied by offices, but there will be also shops on the ground floors, as well as the hotel and apartments upstairs, which will be the tallest residential units in Japan. And of course, there will be an observation ventilation deck on the roof. The construction will be carried out in stages, and the first step is to demolish the existing buildings on the site while preserving the existing infrastructure such as the water and electrical substations. And finally, I would like to mention this tweet from British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, in which he says that the British are the nation of drivers. I don't want to preach to anyone, but I just like to remind you of Britain's contribution to the development of transportation technologies. World's first railway with steam locomotives, world's first horse-drawn tram, world's first electric locomotive, world's first underground subway, world's first electric bus. And suddenly we are a nation of drivers. As you can see, 19th century Britain was one of the world's pioneers in the development of public transport, especially railways. Therefore, it is very strange to hear such statements and see how they result in the cancellation of high-speed rail development in Britain. In my opinion, it would be a great pity if the United Kingdom turns the wrong way and starts repeating the mistakes of the 20th century in a second round. And the same goes for the 20 miles per hour speed limit. Mr. Sunak promises to abolish it en masse as oppressive to drivers, but isn't he aware that such restrictions are not made to oppress drivers, but to reduce deaths on city streets? So I hope that all this is just a misunderstanding. So this is the news I found interesting this time. Hope you enjoyed this episode, thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.